And it's a perfect time for us to take a look at a new JCS video. Yay! There's a new JCS video. It's relatively short, and it's about Prince Andrew, a person who should be in jail. Yay!
The United Kingdom's unwritten constitution has evolved over the centuries. So has the role of the British monarchy. At present, different people are likely to see the purpose of the royal family in different ways. Many say its duty is to prevent the corruption of government and to remind
true crime psychological analysis
that a
is a
higher
better
sovereign
description.
is always
Thank
watching.
you.
Others say it simply makes financial sense, viewing its role as the British version of Disney World and asserting that it brings in more money than it costs the British taxpayer each year. Some, however, believe that it has no purpose, only the ridiculous notion of outdated traditions and class entitlement, and that the revenue from tourists is simply a myth, presenting the statistic that Chester Zoo has more visitors each year than Windsor Castle. But whatever your views on the royal family are as a whole, it's always a good idea not to generalize, as each individual has their own moral compass and personal character. An example of the more virtuous side of the spectrum could be the two central princes. Prince William does a considerable amount of work for charity, which includes helping impoverished children in underdeveloped countries, while Prince Harry volunteered to fight for his country and served 2 tours of duty on the front line in Afghanistan. Not to mention the meaningful significance of his matrimony in 2018, especially when you consider that interracial marriage was illegal in the United States no longer than 52 years ago. Yet where there is prosperity and promise...
Let's just pause on that real quick. That is really insane, isn't it? Like, within living memory, it was illegal for, like, a white person to marry a black person. That's crazy. Like, so many people are like, oh, racism is over now, Sweaty. Like, no, don't worry about it. It's over, Sweaty. And in the meantime, it's like, literally in my grandmother's lifetime, like, she wouldn't have been able to marry a black man. For the record, my grandma is turning 96 this weekend. So good job, Grandma Jean. She's a sweetie.
And controversy are never afar, and we need to look no further than a single week to find a prime example. Many are already familiar with the current circumstances, but for those of you who aren't, here's a quick rundown. On the 8th of July, 2019,
yeah, my grandma,
56-year-old hedge fund manager Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and child sex abuse. The story exploded into the worldwide media, mainly due to his high-profile social circle, which included Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Queen Elizabeth's son, Prince Andrew. But one of the more bewildering facts of the whole situation, and something most were unaware of, is that Epstein had already been convicted as a sex offender for over 10 years.
Could you please give us your name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Is it true, sir, that you have what's been described as an egg-shaped penis? One witness described your penis as...
Oh my fucking god. I was not prepared for this. Oh, fuck. You know whoever asked that question had to like prep that in a mirror for like 10 minutes to not fucking laugh. Oh my god, I'm literally lightheaded. Oh my god. Fuck. Is it true that you are a literal disgusting pile of human shit? We need to listen to this again.
He had already been convicted as a sex offender for over 10 years.
Could you please give us your name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Is it true, sir, that you have what's been described as an egg-shaped penis? One witness described your penis is oval-shaped and claim when erect it was thick towards the bottom but was thin and small towards the head portion, and called it egg-shaped. Those are not my words, I apologize. But as Mr. Critton has stated, that this is a...
His original charges were 4 counts of unlawful sex with a minor and 1 count of sex abuse. But his high-end attorneys managed...
Yeah, he didn't say no, he just got up to leave. It's a pretty simple question, Mr. Epstein. Do you have an egg-shaped penis? It's yes or no.
To whittle it down to just 1 count of procuring a minor for prostitution, and he served just over 1 year in prison. While Trump and Clinton allegedly cut ties with Epstein after his arrest, Prince Andrew continued the relationship and visited Epstein multiple times at his properties both in the States and also on his private island in the Caribbean, where he allegedly partook in what the media dubbed orgy parties with underage girls who were solicited for sex. One of the alleged victims even went public, stating that she was trafficked and then forced to have sex with Prince Andrew on 3 separate occasions. A photograph of them together surfaced in the media, and many consider it to be substantial evidence to back up the allegations. On the 10th of August 2019, Jeffrey Epstein died under extremely suspicious circumstances, with his death being officially ruled a suicide. This only added fuel to the fire, and the public scrutiny aimed at Prince Andrew intensified over the following months. Then, on the 16th of November, he made the extraordinary decision to address the allegations in a televised...
Yeah, it's just like Jeffrey Epstein. I'm but a simple country lawyer. But do you or do you not, sir, have an oval-shaped penis? One woman described it as egg-shaped. I would now like to call to the stand Jeffrey Epstein's penis. Just like a little egg muppet goes up to the stand.
We've come
I
to the
say.
place in highly unusual circumstances.
Oh yeah, I remember watching this interview. Prince Andrew is like the guiltiest looking motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
Normally, we'd be discussing your work, your duty. We'll come on to that. But today, you've chosen to speak out for the first time. Am I right in thinking you threw a birthday party for Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, at Sandringham?
If the penis fits in the shell, you must send him to hell.
Just a straightforward shooting weekend.
The expression on his face is as if he's been accused of something, but the interviewer had only asked if he had thrown a party. It's as if the word party has some damnatory connotations to it, hence the worried look, as well as his assertion that it was just a straightforward shooting weekend, whatever that is.
But during these times that he was a guest at Windsor Castle at Sandringham, the shooting weekend, we now know that he was and had been procuring young girls for sex trafficking.
We now know that. At the time, there was no indication to me or anybody else that that was what he was doing.
He was released in July. Within months, by December of 2010, you went to stay with him at his New York mansion. Why? Why were you staying with a convicted sex offender?
Right.
my man literally like doing the equivalent of like the anime like shimmy, like up against the wall.
To see him, and I was doing a number of other things in New York at the time, and we had an opportunity to go for a walk in the park, and that was the conversation, coincidentally, that was...
I just really liked going to my good friend, the child molester Jeffrey Epstein's rape island, for the good walks we would have together. Just some jaunty strolls.
Photographed, which was when I said to him, I said, look, because of what has happened, I don't think it is appropriate that we should remain in contact.
And that's why I flew out to his child rape island to tell him that in person. You know, I couldn't give him a phone call or a text message or like a I don't know, some kind of like rich person candygram. I don't know. Like I'm sure there's something like that.
And by mutual agreement during that walk in the park, we decided that we would part company, and I left, I think it was the next day. And to this day, I never had any contact with him from that day forward.
He didn't leave the next day. He stayed at Epstein's residence for 4 days after. It must have been pretty awkward staying at someone's house for 4 nights after telling them you want nothing to do with them anymore.
What did he say?
God, what? Excuse me.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop your fucking lying.
The friendship.
He was what I would describe as understanding. He didn't go into any great depth in the conversation.
Yeah, it was a 4-day walk on his rape island.
Except to say that
Is Epstein didn't kill himself a far-right conspiracy theory? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think it matters in the broad scheme of like power politic, but I find it plausible that he killed himself. I also find it very plausible that he didn't. So either way, it negligible.
He'd accepted whatever it was, a plea bargain. He'd served his time, and he was carrying on with his life. You see what I mean? And I said yes, but I'm afraid to say that's as may be. But with all the attendant scrutiny on me, then I don't think it is a wise thing to do.
This is also fascinating because the only person who can refute his statements is now dead, and in Andrew's mind, he has free rein to come up with any justification he pleases, but he's about to be caught out.
That was December of 2010.
Yep.
He threw a party as the guest of honor.
Oh, in 2010, that certainly wasn't a party to celebrate his release in December. It was
I didn't go to a party in December with underage rape girls. I went to a party in January.
It was a small dinner party. There were only 8 or 10 of us, I think, at the dinner.
He once again seems to be very anxious and panicked by the word party, and according to Andrew, having up to 10 people over doesn't classify it as such, making it the more acceptable dinner with a convicted sex offender, rather than the deplorable dinner party with a convicted sex offender.
If there was a party, then I'd know nothing about that.
No, there was no fun going on there. No enjoyment being had. It was simply a run-of-the-mill dinner with a convicted sex offender.
Invited to that dinner as a guest of honor.
Well, I was there, so there was a dinner. I don't think it was quite as you might put it, but yeah, okay. I was there at a dinner. Yeah.
I'm just trying to work this out because you said you went to break up the relationship, and yet you stayed at that New York mansion several days. I'm wondering how long.
But I was doing a number of other things while I was there.
But you were staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
Okay, how do I get out of this one? Oh God, she's gonna get me.
It was a convenient place to stay, and
And whom among us wouldn't stay at a convicted sex offender's house? Let those among us who would not stay at a convicted sex offender's mansion throw the first stone.
Admit fully that my judgment was probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable, but that's just the way it is.
Ah yes, the struggles of being too honorable. He was far too honorable, so he made the honorable choice to take a secret 4-day vacation in a pedophile's mansion.
This interview has been...
I had to keep up the appearances for the pedophile.
exceptionally rare. You might not speak on this subject again. Is there anything you feel has been left unsaid that you would like to say now?
No, I don't think so.
This was the perfect moment to express sympathy for Epstein's victims, yet he was too self-involved and focused on self-preservation to even realize it. This interview had been an attempt to salvage his reputation, yet backfired in a manner that his legal advisors most certainly would not have anticipated.
Now I'm the king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I wanna be a man cub, and stroll right into town, and be just like the other men. I'm tired of walking around. Oh, Scooby-Doo, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you, you see it true. And it's like me. Oh, Scooby-Doo, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you, you see it true. And it's like me. And like you and do. And like you and do. And like you and do.
Surprise, motherfucker!
God damn it. I fucking love JCS.